Music has long been a powerful tool in political campaigns, energizing voters and helping shape public perception. For the US presidential race, song choice is a tradition that goes as far back as the first president, George Washington. Now, soundtracks have shifted over time, from simple jingles to more complex political messages.
Arts researcher Ariel Bonnell has looked into the history of song choices on the campaign trail. She spoke with our reporter Ruby Cornish to look at the music used by presidential candidates Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in the lead up to this week's vote.
On November 5th, I'm casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Let's not do any more questions. Let's just listen to music. Let's make it into a music. Put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria.
Ariel, thank you so much for chatting to Weekend Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
Has music always been a big part of presidential campaigns, or are these like curated playlists a relatively recent phenomenon?
They've always been a part of US presidential campaigns from the very first one with Washington. They used to be more well-known folk tunes that they would change the lyrics for to better suit the candidate. But as time went along, they adapted so that they would better fit the celebrities and the trends of that time. So you have Frank Sinatra singing High Hopes for JFK.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack.
Fleetwood Mac's Don't Stop for Bill Clinton. But now it seems that it's not enough to have just the one song. Now these candidates have these massive playlists directed personally to each group.
We're Mumford & Sons and there's nowhere else we'd rather be.
And so let's start with Kamala Harris. What kind of music is she making part of her brand?
It's a lot of pop and R&B, funk. It's also a lot of much younger music. Most tracks are coming from the last 25 odd years, and that's something that you see a lot in her rallies. She has a lot of really current popular artists playing. It's really clear that she's promoting herself to much younger and possibly completely new voters.
Sometimes musicians don't seem very happy about the fact that their music is being used. Are there rules about whether you're allowed to use certain artists' music? Do you have to get permission from them beforehand?
You don't actually have to ask the artist for their permission. There is a political campaign licensing agreement that you get with an external agency. However, if the artist themselves then objects and takes legal action, then a judge can decide that you're not allowed to use their music.
Because of them, we ended up with some good music, right? Right? So play YMCA. Go ahead. Let's go. Nice and loud.
We know that Donald Trump's soundtracks are very important to him. At a rally recently, he kind of put everything on hold to dance on stage. What kind of music is he choosing?
It's a lot of what you'd expect, probably. It's a lot of overwhelmingly white and male artists, and he sticks to his staples a lot with rock and country. He has about the same amount of queer artists in his music as Harris does, but they use completely differently. He tends to have artists like Elton John and the Village People, artists from the 70s and 80s who, at least at the time, weren't as overt with their sexuality and their music.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the most patriotic American badass on earth, President Donald J. Trump.
And why do you think it is that we're seeing this sort of increased focus and this really careful curation of music? Do you think it has anything to do with social media and the way that people are consuming political messaging these days?
Completely. I think that a massive struggle with American politics and political campaigns is the fact that you're getting people not only to vote for you, but you're getting them to vote at all. So you lean into more spectacle, more entertainment. If that motivates someone to get to a rally to engage with the candidate, then that's only good news.
Well, really fascinating to have something that's usually in the background brought to the foreground. Thanks so much for the chat, Ariel.
Thanks.
That's Ruby Cornish there speaking with arts researcher Ariel Bonnell, and it is really fascinating to look at because while yes it is in the background, it really sets the scene, it sets the vibe and the mood and all of those things. The music, it can be really powerful.
Well, it's a G up for the audience as well, isn't it? The crowd that's there. And it does depend on the song that you choose because it would have to comply with your own political message as well. And then it would depend on whether the artist would also agree with your political
well. Exactly, yes.
So complex. Ruby Cornish with that very interesting report there.